Alrighty guys, welcome back to Chain Turbo Garage. We got my 2019 Hyundai Veloster N up here. We're about to get going on a transmission and clutch swap. And right now we're about to get to it. Got it up on the lift. Got about that much clearance on this side. Decent amount of clearance on that side. We are ready to rock and roll. So first order of business is going to be taking that battery out. We're going to get to that in a bit. But right now, I'm about to show you how to really get started on this. First things first is tool introduction. You're going to need some special tools. And first things first, it's easiest to get a transmission jack. Highly recommend it. And you will need an engine support bar. Unless you want to use like plywood or something, I don't know. Then over here, you're gonna need a few special tools. You need a 32mm socket, the axle nuts. You need some gear oil, some brake fluid. I like VP Racing, I use that. I'm also doing an oil change, so using this, full synthetic. I love that thing, stand by it. Of course, a clutch, we're going to be doing that later on, and you will need this. Even if you're not doing a whole clutch, you will need this. And yeah, let's get started on this whole swap. Alrighty, first order of business, get the battery out and your intake, at least most of it, and then you're going to take out the battery tray and the ECU. How you do that is you take out the battery, of course, and there's a few certain nuts. There's a few 10s and there's a few, I think, 12s. This is a 12. Yeah, 12 millimeters. And yeah, these two are 10s. And you just take it out. It's going to be a little bit finicky to at least get this out, because this is barbed in right here. So you're going to have to take this all out and just kind of wiggle it out. It's going to be awkward, but you got to do what you got to do. It'll give you access to all the top nuts for the transmission here, and then you can go from there. All right, I got the ECU out and everything's unbolted. There are two 12mm bolts and I think four 10mm bolts. You got a 10 mil right here, 10 mil right here, and a 10 mil right here for the ECU. And then watch closely on this thing. There's a certain way that you got to do it. If I unbolted everything correctly, yeah, I think you just got to slide it out. Did I unbolt everything? Yeah, I should have. Oh, there's one more back here. Okay, there's three 12mm bolts. Yeah, one back there. And that should be everything. So you can just kind of lift this up and then slide it this way. And there you go. You got your battery tray. Now you take this over here, set it right over there, and then if you want to be cool, we'll take a few of your bolts and put them back so you can keep track of them and not lose them. At least that's what I like to do. Put them back there. Ooh, look, a nice fresh washer. Wonder where that came from. Probably from these guys for the air intake. And now you should have plenty of access to your shift linkage and all your bolts and whatnot for your transmission. And you can also mess around with all the connections up here, so you can do those up top or down below, doesn't matter, it's easier. And yeah, time to get this thing lifted up and get started. Next order of business is taking the wheels off. So on a 4-post lift, we got the e-brake on, and two things back here to hold the rear tires. You're going to take the front wheels off. I have a 4-post lift, so I'm going to be putting it up on 2 jack stands, just so I can access the subframe. I'll explain why, and you'll see why later. On a quick note, whenever you're putting jack stands under here and you're doing this trans job, make sure you don't cover this, because you need to take this little cross member out too to be able to get to the subframe. So what I found is you put that a little bit behind it, and right on it really, and you basically just slap her on down. Same thing with the 2-post lift. All right, cool. Now you got the wheels off, and right about now you should be wondering what the hell you're getting yourself into. Don't worry, I got you. First order of business is you grab a homie or friend, or in my case, because I have no friends, you're gonna put like a bar in there and depress the brake. And you're gonna get your special little socket, your 32mm socket, and a big ass breaker bar. And you're gonna get that nut off there with a force of 1,000 suns off. Okay, and got that bar in there, depressing the brake pedal, got that wedged against the seat. I don't really recommend this, but I don't really have an option, and I don't want to go out and buy the brake depressing tool. So now we're here. And right about now, after you've realized that you've thrown your back out, you should have something that looks like this in your inventory. Well, specifically this. This comes off of there, yada yada. And then, next order of business, you're gonna be taking off these guys. Right here, here, and right there. And then, you're also, see if I can get over here. You're also gonna be taking this guy off, because that also drops with the subframe. Don't worry, it will not screw with your alignment. There's going to be a little cotter pin back there that you're going to have to replace. No big deal. If you're doing this, you should probably have some money to, like 5 cents to run down to AutoZone if you're not already this far. In my case, I was smart, got everything ahead. Kind of. Yeah, and we're going to get those guys off, and I'll see you guys soon. One more thing. Everything except for the one right here is 17mm. So these 3, 1, 2, 3, and that guy, you also need to take off. This guy, you also need to take that off, at least the nut on the bottom or top. It doesn't really matter, whichever you want to screw around with. And this guy, I'm having trouble with this guy. There is a washer down here, so don't lose that. There's no washer on the bottom. At least I don't think so. And yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with that one. The other side I got off perfectly fine, as you can see. But that, just put a pry bar in between right here and just lift up or down, whichever. All right, now moving on. You're going to be taking these guys off. These all should be 14mm. Yep, all of them are 14mm. You're going to be taking all those off and just do what I do. I usually put the nuts back because there's going to be a whole lot more nuts and everything everywhere. So I highly recommend you keep track of all your stuff. Yeah. Okay. Now your undercarriage should look something like this. There's 2 bolts and the rest are nuts. They're located here, 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 and here's another bolt. And I just set these on the side over there because they're going to be out of the way. And next order of business is to probably get the lower engine mount undone. I have the 6th EM3 lower mount. It's been through hell and back with me. Yeah. Okay. Now that you got just this guy, now that should do. Unless you're special and had to do something with it, yeah, just take that bolt out, or the entire thing. It doesn't matter, as long as you keep track of everything. Okay, next order of business is to loosen, more like back out these guys, just about 1 inch or 2. Don't touch this, because you're gonna need that for alignment, or this. do not touch that. You are going to go under here, get an extension, and see that right there? That is a nut. That is clearly that guy. This guy right here. I believe that is a 19 millimeter or 17. Let me check real quick. It's a 19 millimeter, 19 or 20 millimeter, and it's gonna need to be a deep socket, and you're gonna back those out. Don't fully remove them, because I doubt you want your, well, whole subframe to drop on your face. So there's that. And actually, before you do any of that, you're gonna go in the cabin. You're gonna go into the right under where all the pedals are. Here, let me just show you. You go on here near the pedals. You're gonna twist the steering wheel. You can see that nut, and you're gonna loosen that with a 12 millimeter socket, and then you're going to basically pop that off. This is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look something like this. You're gonna have to take that bolt completely out to be able to get that off. And good thing is don't worry too much about alignment, because there's only a notch on one side, and that notch is right there. So that is really all you have to do up top for now. Okay, now you should look something like this. If you back them out, you should have like a few threads left and whatnot, same as here, something like that. Same on the other side. Okay, now that you look like this, you're going to deal with all the wires that are attached to this, all this. Most of them, I believe, are attached like right there-ish, under here. They are an absolute pain to get to, so take your time on this. And be safe, don't cut yourself, because I did a few times first time I did this. And yeah, be safe. I think a few, I'll show you what's connected where when I get a visual on anything. So, see you soon. Okay, let me just show you anyway. You're gonna follow this big wire that leads all the way up there. You're gonna follow it all the way down to some room right there-ish. You'll find a connector there. I think it splits. And these two connectors on the bottom. Don't mess with the top one. I think that one goes to this. And you don't really need to mess with that. Yep, those two connectors on the bottom. I believe those are the only two that you're going to be disconnecting. Or, if you want to be smart and do anything, you can probably disconnect that one right there. You know, the one that's more easy to get to. Yeah, that one. Focus, yes, that one. Okay, so you're gonna go top side, and right behind where the ECU was, yeah, this guy right here, you're gonna disconnect that. And I'm gonna figure out how to disconnect it real quick, but I'm pretty sure this thing, you just kind of like pull out and pop it off. Yeah. There's a little tab right here. Come on, focus camera. There's a little tab right there that you're gonna kind of like push down, and then this thing flips downwards, and then you just wiggle it off, just like that. And you make sure that's, where to go? Make sure it's not gonna get tangled in anything. Just kind of like push it on down there, yada yada. And yeah, there you go. Also, while you're up here, go ahead and disconnect these. You can basically just twist this guy off there and push it back, or you just pull it off, usually. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna push this way, you're gonna pull out, just like that. So pull this out this way and pull. Real simple. Then just lift it up and put it to the side. Make sure you don't lose any bushings, anything. And I like to put the pin back so I don't lose it. Oh shit, don't lose it. Just like so. You just have to push her in. Same thing with the other one. It's back here. But yeah, it's way back there. But same idea. Also, another thing to do while you're topside is go ahead and disconnect all these. We can come back to it later, but right now, I'd say while you're just up here, just go ahead and disconnect them. Remember where they go, of course, but I believe you disconnect this one, and believe you can leave, nope, you gotta disconnect this guy. And you can probably slide that, and actually, yeah, you could just slide this thing out. Yeah, slide that out. Go ahead and disconnect her. So, oh, nothing broke. Cool. I'll get back to that later. Anyway, go ahead and disconnect all these connectors while you're up here if you want. You can come back to it later. It doesn't need to happen. Okay, side quest time. We got to drain all this. We got to drain the transmission because one, I blew it. I mean, you can see by all the oil right here, well, gear oil. Probably blew out the seal on this thing, and it ate second gear. I'll tell you why later. But yeah, we got to drain this thing, so you're gonna need a, what is that? A 15/16 socket, and you're gonna just lefty loosey, righty tighty. And let's set your 15/16. Make sure it's set to off. Okay, and then you're gonna grab your bucket over here. You're gonna undo it. It's gonna take a while. And it probably ate second gear, so there's gonna be a lot of metal chunks and it's gonna look dark. So I'm excited to see what happens. All right, and there's gonna be a whole lot probably on the metal thing. So right here. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Oh man, there was no oil left. It was probably leaking for a while. But either way, your thing should not look like that. Because I have pieces of gear in there. It's okay to have a little debris, like shavings, but not any chunks. If you have chunks, then that's probably why you're doing this. And there should be a lot more oil coming out of there, but for some reason it's doing that. But before you actually pull that thing, you're gonna have to pull that one, or else it's gonna do what it was earlier. And it would be a 11/16. You just pull that thing, and yeah, there you have it. Your oil should not look like this, I'll tell you that much. And there should be a lot more of it. Should be about that much. I mean, what is that, a quart? Yeah, 2 quarts. Should be about 2 quarts of oil, give or take. And that doesn't look like 2 quarts. Oh, good Lord, this thing is destroyed. So, if you ever blow your transmission, it shouldn't be that glittery. Yeah, we got chunks over here, and it looks like gold mine over here. But, jeez, it is destroyed. It's all that came off of that drain plug. There's probably still more in that bucket. Oh, jeez, yeah, there's big chunks. Okay, now that you have pretty much everything set up, and you put the drain plug back in. You're gonna grab your transmission jack and you're gonna shove it under here. Have a pedal facing you. You're gonna jack it up until it's touching the bottom of the subframe, right around in the middle. And yeah, I'll show you what comes next. Now I have the transmission jack somewhat positioned. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo the 4 bolts and nuts right here, here, and there. And I'm going to lower it and kind of shimmy it out. And then we'll have access to the transmission. All right, now you should have something that looks like this. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Right now, you just basically gotta look this over and make sure you don't have anything broken. Look all of it over. Just clean stuff up, really. I mean, you're probably gonna have a little bit of dirt and grime and road grime and whatever. And basically just look everything over, all the dirt, whatnot, and then you're good. You're fine. You got it done. You got the first hard part done. Now, you go back under the car, and you're gonna look at what you did and cry. Then, what's next up on the agenda is to get the axles out. Now, don't worry, this axle is really easy to get out. All you need to do is just push this out, and then you can slide it out, probably get a little small pry bar back here, pry it that way, and then you're good. But this one's the hard one. What you're gonna do is ignore this. You're gonna go back here. You're gonna go to the mount. You're gonna take these 3 out. And then, sorry, the lift's kind of short here. You're just gonna disconnect those, and same concept, you're gonna push that out, and then you're just gonna slide the axle out. And you're halfway done, right there. Good job. All right, to get to those 3, you're gonna need a extension and a 14mm socket. Just basically gonna put her back there, put her on there, and lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Now that you got those axles out, what you're gonna do next is all over here, mostly. Kind of. So first up is, at least I want to deal with the easy stuff first, is of course I'm changing the transmission, so I need to take this bracket off. So these are all 14mm bolts, and let's go ahead and knock that out. And then what you're gonna do is, I think there's a few ways that you can deal with this. You can either take these out of these, or you can be cool like me, and you can just take out the bolts, and deal with it that way. And you're basically just gonna go around, start unhooking wires like this, undoing brackets, and yeah, don't undo that one just yet. You're gonna save that one for last because it'll leak everywhere. Once you have dealt with that, you are going to go up here, and I mean, it's probably easiest, just deal with the 3 bolts over here. They are, what are they? Oh, they're 12mm. There's 3 of them that hold on the bracket for this. It's right here. And you're gonna take those out, and you're gonna go down here, and you're gonna disconnect the ground from right there. Come on, focus camera. You can disconnect the ground. It looks like this. You don't route it under here, and then you're just gonna connect it right there, just like that. And then you're gonna go open your brand new engine support bar, and you're gonna do this. Cool, right? Yes. So basically, this one's not long enough, but it should be on here, but this is okay, I guess. You're basically gonna hook it up right here and kind of like jerk it, tighten it down a little bit so your getting pressure off of right here, and that's where you're gonna go next. You're gonna go over to the wheel well. And see these two guys? You're gonna remove those. You're gonna basically, you're gonna see a little cover that looks like this. It's gonna be right there. You're gonna pop it out, and these two guys will be right there. You're gonna, yeah. With those guys removed, I have found it easier to remove this mount right here so you can slide the transmission out this way. It's not a necessity, but it makes life a whole lot more easier because it's like it's four bolts right here, 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 and here. I believe they are 17 mil. Let's check. 19. Yeah, they're 17 mil. Okay, and now it is time for the exciting part. You're going, I would recommend starting off up on the top. You're gonna find, sorry, get focus camera. All right, you're gonna see this guy. That's one. There's 7 bolts and 2 starter bolts. They're the black ones right there, and down below it, right there, right there. That's the starter bolts. So in total, you have 10 bolts to take out. You're gonna find four bolts up on the top. 2 of them are the starter. 2 of them are just transmission. And then you're gonna find the rest of the 6 on the bottom facing the opposite direction. So this way, you're gonna find these bolts facing this way. Do not mistake them with these. These you do not touch, at least not yet. And yeah, get to it, have fun. And before you take out all of them, make sure to have your jack under it. I'll get back with you soon. Also, all of the transmission bolts are 14 millimeter, nothing else. 14 mil. All right, just to show you the locations of the other 6, you got one right there, right here, right here, right here, and here. And you're basically just gonna take those out. I'd say like leave these bottom 2 in until you're absolutely ready to take that thing out. You're also gonna need to disconnect, you need to disconnect this wire to this canister right here, and also this hose. Oh, and also, I don't know if you can see them, way up there. There's another one hiding. Come on, focus. Focus. There's another one hiding right deep in there. And this guy, right up in there, and this guy. I was able to get to the bolt like this. I got an extension, got it over there. It's on the bolt right now. And I shoved it all the way over here. And it's currently on this big ass ratchet. And about to get that bitch off. Alright, and it is finally time. I got 2 bolts left here, and that's really all that's holding this thing in. And I just have this to take care of. Now this, there we go. Now this is a pretty special. It's a little bit difficult to deal with. So what I have here is I have a water bottle, and I got a piece of duct tape. Because once I unhook it, it's just going to start pouring brake fluid out of there. Like it's no tomorrow. At least that's what it did last time I did this. So I'm basically going to put this on this end and duct tape it so it'll catch all the brake fluid. I also got a pan down here in case this decides to leak too. Yeah, I'm going to get that going. Also, one way to disconnect it, or the only way to disconnect it, is instead of, it looks like one of those things that you push out, but it's actually, you depress it, you squeeze it, and you basically, it's a real pain in the ass. This black one, this one is one that you push out, and this is the one that you push in. So you're gonna get a screwdriver or something and push it out. Okay, I got this disconnected. What I did is I pushed this down And now I'm just going to take this out and put it in the little water bottle that I have over here, tape it up, and hope everything goes well. Okay, transmission is completely unbolted. I got it on the jack stand here, or the trans jack. Everything is undone. It is ready to be pulled out. And this way, you just pull it out this way and shimmy it on down. It's a struggle every time, but honestly, there's no special way to do it. You just gotta do it. And I wish you best of luck. Okay, and now we're here. I have the transmission on the jack. And as you can see, it looks like shit. It looks like it blew somewhere in there. Probably the front main seal. You got all this nice, lovely grime and crap. It is lovely. And over here we have the cause. This is the solid ceramic twin disc clutch for the Hyundai Veloster N, and I believe this is what caused the issue. It looks fine. Everything seems shimmed properly. Everything is aligned. I think that it was just way too aggressive for the car, and it caused the transmission to absolutely eat itself. Absolutely eat itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear the clutch off, look at it, look at the flywheel, and go from there. All right, guys, we're here. We got our brand new clutch out. I'm wearing gloves because I don't want to get this thing dirty, because it is absolutely stunningly beautiful. Just look at that. Not a speck of dust on it. I also especially don't want to get all the nice stuff in here. Come on. There we go. Set this off to the side, make sure nothing's under it. And look at that. Looks like a DVD player up in there. So beautiful. Look at all that. Then you got this beautiful clutch plate. And let's go. Okay, let me count this. Got 6 prongs. I really like it. Pretty thin, which I don't really mind, but it looks good. I think this is ceramic, so won't wear down too much. But this is probably one of the most beautiful clutches I've owned. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at that. Kind of trippy too. What you're seeing on the camera, I'm actually seeing in real life too. That is actually really beautiful. And got the same effect on this thing too. Nope, it's fine. But I love how finished it is. Really lovely pressure plate. It's absolutely beautiful. And it comes with these guys to help guide it. Okay, now we're here. So you see this hole. This is not a hole to put your bolt in. Pause. This is still not a hole to put your bolt in. So you're basically going to look at your flywheel and say, hey, which one of these do not look like a bolt hole? And that should match up with that. So you're going to grab your flywheel, and this has already been cleaned off to the best of my ability. Basically going to put that right there, and you're just gonna kind of push it on there, right like that. You'll hold that, grab one of your nuts or bolts, and put it right there. Get a hand, tighten it in. There's one. And let's just put that one right there. Perfect. And now repeat the process for all the rest. All right, so we're back at it. Now we get all these guys in, and we're going to have to tighten these down in this very specific order. Yeah, and I kind of wrote them down so you can kind of see them. Well, at least you won't, but I will. So what you're going to do is you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go ahead and tighten these down a little bit, probably a quarter turn at a time. Use our T60, 1 or 2 turns, and 1. I'm just going to speed run this. 2. Probably going to speed up this part just to get it done and over with. So 3. Come on. 4. 5. 6. 7. 1. 2. 7. Okay. All right. So I basically just tightened all these down. I'm not going like wrenching at them. I'm just putting them down metal to metal. So now we're to the point where when I turn this, the flywheel will move like this. So now we're going to go back and we're going to get something to put in here so it'll hold the flywheel in place while I turn it. Okay. Now we got this set up. Got all these kind of tightened down, and we got a pin right back here to this hole up here, just holding it in place. Our torque wrench here with our T60 star bit set to 94 foot-pounds. And right now we're just going to go in pattern and torque these up. Right now, that is number 1. So we're going to start with that one. Just kind of hold it there. Oh, geez. There's 1. And there's 2.
Is that 2?
Is that 2? Yeah, that's 2. Made me catch myself. Bullshit. Okay, there's 2. Okay. And now, after the short break, we are going back to 3, which is over here. And then over to 4. Where's 4? There's 4. Yeah, that's 4. And we just finished up 4, which that's 4. And now we're going to go to 5, which is right here. Then we're going to go to 6. Come on. And then to 7 at the very bottom here. And now, just to make sure everything's torqued right, we're just gonna go around in a circle, make sure everything's tight and nothing's moving. All right, now we just finished up rechecking all the torque on these. And what we're gonna do now is I got the surface area a little bit dirty, so I'm just gonna clean that off real quick. And then we're gonna get to installing the clutch plate and the pressure plate. All right, now we're about to put this guy in. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna slap this guy in here this way. I'm just gonna hold it there. And of course I put some grease in the splines just to kind of help it. And we're gonna kind of just align that in there. Come on, go in. Go in, there we go. And we're gonna make sure that it actually goes into the little hole in the back there. There's not a whole lot of room to move around. We're gonna go like that. Now, I'm gonna go get the clutch plate, or the pressure plate. Okay, now I'm back with the pressure plate. I'm gonna look around and I see this little white index right there. I'm gonna make sure that it matches up just right on, there's another white index on the back of here. Just gotta find it. It's right here, right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this white index. I'm gonna kind of shimmy it over. Come on, get out of my way. I'm gonna try and not hit anything with this white index right there. Get in the pinholes right there. Just gonna kind of push it in, make sure this is still steady, and then I'm gonna grab my bolts and put them in one by one. Okay, now those guys are in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get the tool for these. I'm gonna turn them a quarter turn at a time each in a crisscross pattern. All right, now we're gonna go through here and we're gonna do like a quarter turn at a time while keeping this in there. This should not move at all. Oh, God, get out of my way, geez, out. Just gonna kind of do, well, first get it down to metal, about right there, down here, right there. Just do half turns, I guess. Whatever feels best, I guess. Until you feel a little bit of resistance. Oh. Right there, down here. This one's already not metal. There we go. Quarter turn. It's right here. Yeah. This one's already lost. There we go. Quarter turn. This one's gonna be tricky since it's close to so many things. Right there. And now we start the process all over again until you feel like you're pretty much set and can't turn anymore. So we're here. We've got all these kind of tightened down. Probably just all kind of like Guten tight. And now we're about to torque it to all these guys to 26 foot-pounds. Got all this, got a nice torque wrench here, and you're gonna keep this in throughout the whole process. Don't know because it's been there the whole process. If you removed it, your dumbass do the whole thing again. And you're just gonna tighten this. There's one. Two. Then over here. 3. here to 4. Over here to 5. Then up here for 6. And if you have done all those steps correctly, you have installed your brand new clutch. Congratulations. And it should look absolutely beautiful. Here, let me get that pin out of there. Rotate this to all its glory. Oh. Oh, come on, rotate. Oh. Okay, party people, it is time. I got the brand new transmission. I just got it shipped and delivered. Well, I had to go pick it up because stupid ass shipping company, but I'll explain that later. But anyway, looks good. I just drained most of the fluids out and drain out more later. I put on all the accessories like this. Had to put on, what else? I had to put that thing on, this guy. Had to put on the black plate. Honestly, it's just two 12mm bolts right here, just good and tight. Put on the new throwout bearing from X Clutch. Looks good. Put a little bit of Loctite in there, just a little bit, and tighten those down. I didn't really torque them because there is a torque for them. I think they're like 14 foot-pounds, but honestly, just torque it. It's fine. And yeah, we are ready to get that thing installed. So first thing first, we're gonna go under the car, look under here, look at all the mess we made. We're gonna look at our beautiful clutch. We're finally gonna take this out. We're gonna set it to the side and hopefully don't lose it. And we're gonna go back here and we are going to basically get some gloves on and grease everything gloves on. Let me readjust my hand here. So I got glove on. So what I'm gonna do is I just got some nice lithium multi-purpose grease. I'm just gonna grab a little bit, just a little bit, like that much. I'm gonna go, that's actually probably a little bit too much actually. I'm gonna go over here and get to the shaft. I'm just gonna lube it up a little bit. Yeah, it's nice and lubed. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. Try not to get anything on this, but just kind of lube up this. Be really nice and don't have to be too liberal about it, just enough to get it in the splines without messing up anything else. And now with your excess, should have a little excess. I don't, but I'm just gonna grab a little extra off here. It's way too much for what I want. Yeah, that'll be enough. Just gonna move it around a little bit. There we go, back under here. You're gonna look at your clutch. And you're gonna take this. Try not to touch the front of it. You're gonna go in. It's gonna lube up those splines a little bit. Try not to touch anything else with your greasy fingers. Got more on the thumb here. Get the top. And oh, I just touched the clutch. Oops. My beautiful clutch. But yeah, just lube that up and you should be set. Now, you go over here, you take your lovely glove off. And now, you're ready to put this in. Now, I'm a little stupid and I mismatched where some bolts were. I know these are for the starter and yeah, these are for the starter and the side, but I know these guys are for something else. One thing you should notice when you're taking these guys apart is all of them are at a different size. I mean, almost all of them. I believe only like 2 are the same size, give or take. Yeah, well, 3 are the same size. Even those aren't the same size. You just gotta figure out which ones are the same. I forgot. So I'm gonna figure that out real quick and I'll let you know. Figured it out. It looks like these 3 tall guys are on the top going this way and right here. one tall guy going this way, maybe another over there, and the rest are shorts going this way. So short, 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 long, and long, and long going this way, long going this way, long going this way, and short going that way. I might have skipped over a little bit, but let me tell you what happened. All right, so I'm pretty much working here alone, so of course I don't really have much help. So I did all of this basically without any videoing here. So basically what needs to happen for you to get to this point is that you need to put it on your jack, lift it up, make sure that your lift is at an ample level. If it's not, get it there. And then you need to fight with that for about 20-30 minutes to get it into the splines and align it correctly. There is, I literally cannot show you how it's done because I fought with it for about 40 minutes, give or take, trying to get it to line up. And just make sure that you're not like forcing it. Do not force it. Like, don't use, I mean, you can use the bolts. I mean, when you use the bolts, make sure there's like about this much of gap all around. Yeah, about this much of gap, like from this black piece here, right about where my fingernail is. Make sure there's about that much of a gap all the way around, and it's equal and straight, like straight with the engine. Then you're gonna basically tighten all the bolts down one by one, kind of like in a crisscross pattern again, and just be very, very careful with it. Just very careful. Keeping a close eye. There's one way that you can see it. If you've got like a borescope, you can probably look in there and keep an eye on how it's going along or how to get it in there. I'd say that's probably the best bet. And just make sure that everything is tight. And don't forget your cover for this, because I forgot it last time and it annoyed the shit out of me because it was sitting in my room. So yeah, that's about where we're at. And then once you get all that tightened down, you're gonna basically jack it up so it's about level. And you're gonna go out here and you're gonna put these guys in. Right now I have a PowerFlex bushing in there, the race one, and I'm just gonna tighten those guys down and just so it's not resting on that guy, and then you're set. So go ahead and do that. All right, next thing's next. You're basically gonna put these guys back in, all the bolts back here for the connector for this guy. Well, not the connector. And make sure that these guys are under the rubber bushings down here. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. You see that little shiny metal thing? Yeah. That's these guys on the underside. And at this point, you can connect your connectors. So this guy here, this guy there, this guy down there to trans, and also the ground down through here, over here, up through here. And yeah, good shit. All right, and if everything has gone great, well, you should be here, about ready to get time into installing the axles. And we're gonna wait until later to install the axle nuts, because we'll probably need the car on the ground or closer to the ground, more towards completion-ish, so everything gets tightened down correctly. Now, after you've dealt with bleeding the clutch, which I lost a pin, so I scoured and found a different pin for this one, but I'll basically just add a link to another video if there's another video of bleeding the clutch on this, because this is really overly complicated and stupid and a big pain in the ass. And yeah, so I'd rather not show you guys that, but I'll probably put a link somewhere in the description for it. And before you do anything else, make sure that all of your bolts on these are all tight and good. And you should be ready for the next step. And also make sure that those guys are tight too, the trans mount. I'm not sure if I said that. And at this point, everything should be good. Yeah. Get to oh, yeah, that's the next step. Sorry, lost train of thought. All right, now you should have your axles in front of you. So we're gonna start with the passenger side axle. And basically what we're gonna do now is we're gonna basically get some grease. We're gonna grease these guys up, both sides. A little bit less on this side, but we're gonna do about the same on either side. Same with these guys, and make sure you clean off all the old rust off, especially off like right here. I found that this had a little bit of corrosion and rust. I just basically got some steel wool and scratched that off. But yeah, get some grease, and then you can slide them in same way that you took them out. Okay, now that you got the axles in and you torqued these 3 bolts down there down, you are going to basically take out the nut right here and the big long bolt that's down here. So this guy, take off this guy as well, might as well, to help you tighten that thing on both sides. And you can leave these guys in for now. Geez, my camera's blurry. But you can leave those guys in for now. And that's all you really need to do. Now you're gonna grab your guy that's on the jacks, or your transmission jack, and you're gonna wheel it over, you're gonna lift it up, and you're gonna put it on there. And you're basically just gonna do the little by little until you're pretty tight. And then you're gonna torque them all down pretty frickin' tight, like tight as you want to go. I don't really know if there's a torque spec for it. I'll look for it, see if I can put it in the top of the screen or so, whatever. Anyway, that's really it for the subframe. Oh yeah, and also don't forget to connect that. Yeah, and that. But yeah, best of luck to you. Okay, now that you got the subframe in, just like that, I haven't put this guy in, but all of the 4 bolts down there, that one's tight, this one's tight, that one's tight, and that one's got tight. You're gonna work on getting these guys in. This one's a bit of a pain in the ass. The rest are okay-ish. Steering rack, make sure to put the washer on top. There, let me get a better camera angle. The washer goes on top, and then the nut, and then the steering rack. Make sure to, I think that's the one with the cotter pin. Yeah, make sure to get a new cotter pin and put it in there. Don't reuse the old ones, because that's piss poor practice. And just tighten all these guys down. Same on the other side. And make sure to put the lower engine mount bolt in. Tighten that guy down. And then you are set. And then we're going to move on to the next step in time. All right, now that you're here, you put your new cotter pins in for your guys over there. You're going to move on to these guys that I said over there on the sides. And you're basically just going to take these little bolts off, all of them. You should have like 1, 2, 3, give or take, or 4, probably 5. Oh yeah, and this guy right there. And you're just gonna slap those guys on, and you are pretty much done with the subframe. And yeah, alrighty, now we're back up top, and we gotta put our little electrical connector back in. So let me get a good camera angle. So I'm gonna focus. You basically just come on, focus, 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 focus. Okay, you basically just slap it in there, like so, and then you just bring that latch up, and there you go. you're all in. And your subframe is fully installed. And don't forget to install these pins back here, and just make sure that they're decently tight and your linkage is straight and whatnot. Other than that, you are set up top. Now you can start installing, I think, the ECU and the battery tray in the battery, and yeah, you're set. Alright, next step, you gotta install the battery cover. After you make sure that everything underneath is good and everything is there, you're gonna basically just slap on the battery cover, and then you're gonna put on the ECU and the battery, then your intake.